guys, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm actually doing a book review. Recently for my, subscriber giveaway that I did, I was asking people suggestions on what you wanted to see more of on my channel, and I'm doing my best to fulfill many of your suggestions because I thought your suggestions were awesome and they sounded like a lot of fun. And one of those was people wanted me to do some book reviews, and I was like, well, why not? I mean, I enjoy book reviews because, I consider myself somewhat of a bibliophile, so especially me being like an English teacher. I'm like I'm like such a book nerd. So the book that I have for you guys today is a book that I just finished reading. It took me like a day to finish reading this book, so those of you that don't have a lot of time, this book might be for you. And I discovered this book through Kelly Bear, who has a kind of like, I guess it's like a 3-part series of all her herbal books. So this one is on healing teas, and as you know, I love to make tea. I'm always taking pictures of my tea. I'm always telling you guys the different teas that I'm making. I think that this is beautifully laid out. This is by Sarah Farr, and I guess just like a deck review, I'll show you the cover, I'll show you the back, and I got it for a relatively good price on Amazon with Amazon Prime, which is dangerous, and it seems like the doggies and everybody in the neighborhood is coming alive right now as I'm trying to do a book review. So the first part of it is just kind of going into like tea and healing yourself, and kind of like where all these practices come from, things like that, sourcing herbs. Then we go into how to, create your recipes. So she does talk about her recipes as being in certain parts. So depending on how much tea you're making, she gives you a little bit of a math breakdown of how many ounces that would be of each herb. Then she talks about the proper way to blend. She talks about, how to store your teas, and how sometimes glass jars aren't the best when they're not the best, because a lot of us like to store things in glass jars, and sometimes when is plastic not the best, so she goes into that. She talks about the difference between an infusion and a decoction. What happens if you would like to create a tea using fresh herbs. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. She starts breaking down tastes, being able to eventually, when it comes time to, make your own teas, to figure out, okay, with this herb and this herb, how can I blend the flavors in order to enhance a certain taste. Like I want to get more of the sour, I want to get less of the sour, I want to get more of the sweet or less of the sweet. I want more bitter, less bitter, salty. She does talk about, thinking of creating teas just the way you would come at it when cooking, blending of ingredients, and not to shy away from the things that are already in the kitchen. Like, don't think, oh, these are my herbs, and then this is what I use to cook. Like, no, start blending them together. Like how you would make soups. Like she says that some of her teas would come from her bone broths and things like that. And I was just like, whoa, like totally like opened my eyes on like what I consider tea and like what I could use for tea. So yeah, it's pretty awesome in that. And then when you get to the recipes, let me see, it's divided into like health recipes and beauty recipes, and like this one is medicinal and remedial recipes, seasonal recipes, and she also gives like a little ditty about each thing. Like there's also like a spotlight on particular herbs, like a spotlight on mint, learning about mint, and this one is like spotlight in tea in spring. So let me give you guys an example of certain teas. So for an allergy tea, she would talk a little bit about it, and she is adamant about making sure that you cover your teas, because she does talk about essential oils evaporating in the steam of the tea. Very potent essential oils just kind of go off in the steam. So if you keep a lid on your tea as it steeps, you're able to keep many of those essential oils, for your benefit. So a lot of the things that she has here are things that like I already have, which is good because I want to go out and like go buy like tons of like weird herbs, you know. So it's like, okay, these are things that you can grow in your garden. These are things that are easily available, you know. And if I didn't have one or two of these things, I'm sure I, you know, could easily substitute them with things I do have, or maybe just mix it all together. You know, it's totally up to you because they're your teas. So I'm never like, oh my gosh, I don't have, you know, peppermint. What do I do? Of course, I have peppermint though. Let's see. And then you get to the back, and she actually starts talking about how to create your own herb garden. So like it totally goes into, you know, I was like reading my dude this, and he was like, I thought you were reading a book about tea. And he's like, why are you talking about gardening? I'm like, never you mind. So. So it does talk about like what style would be best for you, making sure that you know that your garden isn't something that's going to require a lot of maintenance when you don't have time for a lot of maintenance. You know, maybe sometimes that something that's just a little wild but it works, you know, would be the best. Contouring your yard on what has shade, what has the most sun, what has trees and what doesn't, you know, and then making sure that you plant things together that, you know, help each other out, you know, kind of looking into that and thereby, you know, getting to really know your plants. So you don't have to make an herb garden, but she feels that it's really good to do that because you really get to know your herbs, you know, how they work year round. Plus she says the plants would become acclimated to your climate. Like let's say I'm growing lavender here, but there's somebody who grows lavender in Northern California. Well, around that person's house in Northern California is probably a little bit different, working with some different insects, different soil than me growing lavender here. And so therefore it's acclimated to my home, my area, my region. And when I drink tea that has lavender that I made, it's made from where I live, and so it would be, you know, deeply beneficial because it's it's me, you know. Just like they say, it's really good to have, you know, bee pollen or honey that's local. It's kind of like that, you know, because you know, your body reacts a little bit differently, and so does your immune system. So there's that, you know. It kind of talks about, you know, thinking of things that maybe grow around the shade of trees, you know, that wouldn't do so well indoors. And yeah, it's just, this is a good book. You know, I literally read this in like a day. And I found it to be awesome. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a review of this because if you guys are into tea and herbs and things like that, then this is going to be your jam. So there you go. That is the Healing Herbal Teas. Learn to blend 101 specifically formulated teas for stress management, common ailments, seasonal health, and immune support by Sarah Farr. All right, so yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions, leave that in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to respond to your comments. And yeah, let me know if you have this book or maybe you're thinking about getting it. So yeah, that's it for me. If you guys dug this video, give this a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to see more book reviews, just let me know. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweetsandtarot.com. And don't forget, the Wally's World Oracle is going to be coming in soon because it is shipping from the printer to me. Yay! And head over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/kittensweetsandtarot to join that KWT tribe where we have weekly readings, we have monthly crystal grids, we have monthly meditations, we have tarot spreads, we have a lot of goodies for my homies over there, and you can help out for as little as $1 a month. So that's it for me, your spiritual homies. I will catch you later. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.